So there are two types of seeds. First one is the dicot seed, second one is the monocot seed. We are talking about the monocot seed. In monocot seed, that seed has an embryo and its embryonal axis and the cotyledons. But unfortunately, in monocotyledonous seed, it has only one cotyledon. That name is scutellum on the lateral side of the embryo. This one represents the embryo, and on the above side, this represents the endosperm. Endosperm. Now this seed has the outer covering, that is seed coat and fruit wall. Again, unfortunately, the two members in the monocot seed gets fused. Unfortunately, seed coat and fruit wall represents a single membranous. You can take an example of cereals like maize, and inside that there is an aileron layer. It is a triploid in body, that is N, 2N, 3N, so it is 3N, and that covers and that separates this endosperm from the embryo. Now what does this embryo does to this endosperm? Either this endosperm gets consumed totally in the mature seed, or it just remains. So this is the basic things about the monocot seed. And now this one is this plumule and radicle. This gives rise to the shoot system, and this gives rise to the root system. But this should be get protected, so it has the covering. So plumule has a colluteal covering and radicle has a coleorhiza, and this one is the endosperm, this one is the embryo. Now this also represents the same structure but in a different way. That represents the endosperm, and this clip represents the embryo. So this is the endosperm. This is the structure of monocot seed. Now generally monocotyledonous seeds are endospermic, but some, as in the orchids, they are non-endospermic, and same in the dicot seed. Castor is the endosperm, and the remaining like bee, gram and pin, these are the non-endosperm. It means that it has no endosperm in the mature seeds. So this represents the cotyledons, this one is the plumule, and this one radicle. And now the important thing, in dicot seed, the outermost covering of seed is the seed coat, and the seed coat has two layers. One is the testa, and testa represents the outer layer, stigma represents the inner layer. But now the thing is that the hilum, which is a scar, the hilum, it is a junction between the funicle, the stalk and the ovule, that is an egg. So this hilum now represents as a scar in a mature seed. On the seed coat, it is a scar through which this developing seed gets attached to the wall of the ovary, that is a fruit. Now above the hilum is a small pore called the micropyle. Above the hilum, this hilum, above the hilum, it is a micropyle. Now this micropyle, it is the way for the absorbing water and all that. So this is micropyle. And remember, the cotyledons, they are often fleshy and they full of rhizome food materials. So cotyledons have the full of food materials. Food storing tissue is the endosperm. This formed as a result of double fertilization. Now this is epicarp, this is mesocarp, this is seed and endocarp. This represents the seed, this represents the endocarp. Then outside that, in mesocarp, it is fibrous in the true food of coconut, and mango, it is fleshy, that is it can be eatable, and epicarp, it has just a thin covering. So K is for the calyx, C is for the corolla, P is for the perianth. What is perianth? When the calyx and corolla is not differentiated, is not distinct, so overall it is called as the perianth. And A for androecium, G for gynoecium. G downward line is superior ovary, and G upward line for inferior ovary. This represents male, this is female, and this represents for bisexual plants. Plus sign represents the actinomorphic. Actinomorphic means radial symmetry. Very good. Now next is the zygomorphic. This is a percentage sign. This represents the zygomorphic.